guys, it's a proud cat lover, and today I'm going to be showing you the future home of blue death feigning beetles I'm going to be getting. I obviously do not know when I'm going to be getting these beetles, because the person just contacted me and told me they haven't found any blue death feigning beetles yet, the person that I was going to buy from. So I figured I'll just get the tank ready while I'm waiting for warmer weather for the person to get more in through shipping and whatnot. So you guys, if you've been with me for a while, you guys probably recognize this tank. I used it for my dubia roaches way back when I had my leopard gecko. I used it for my hissing cockroaches back when I was breeding hissing cockroaches. So of course now my hissing cockroaches are just down to 2 because they keep dying off on me because they are slightly deformed from all the inbreeding, which I guess apparently is a thing with hissers. I didn't think that they could get deformities and have issues and stuff, but they probably weren't purebreds in the first place, and that could have been what caused it. But for now, I'll show you this tank here, and let me move my feet because cat litter on my feet and it doesn't feel good. Anyway, this is the tank. Right now, all I've got is the drainage layer and the drainage cover deal here. I don't remember what these are called because I am not smart. No, I'm kidding. But the very bottom for the actual area down here, we've got the hydro balls through Zoom Ed, and this it'll just tell lightweight expanded clay terrarium substrate. And this is just to kind of help with drainage down here so that the water does not just collect in the soil and flood the roots of the plants. It is a 2.5 pound bag. This cost $10, pretty much a little bit over $10 at PetSmart. And I had to use 1.5 bags, so I got 2 of them. Anyway, I bought 2 of the Exoterra drainage sheets that are 12 by 12. You can see back there it says Exoterra on there. And I cut one of them in half so I could have half over here and half over there. I'm going to get a cactus and succulent mix soil, and I'm going to put about 2.5 to 3 inches in here, because succulents, it takes them a really long time for them to actually grow deep roots, so you don't have to have a huge amount of soil when it comes to depth. You obviously want to have enough for the roots to grow, but once they start growing, they can easily just start growing outwards. Or if they wanted to grow through this mesh here, they could. I don't really care because I'm obviously not going to be taking them out, so where they get planted, they're going to stay. And then I'm going to put about 1/2 inch of coarse sand on top. 1 for aesthetics because it'll look neat, because it'll look deserty. And 2 because you're not supposed to have soil, bare soil, for the beetles to step on, because apparently if it gets wet and they step in it, it could get stuck on their feet and they could have issues. I don't know. I was reading that. So I don't mind anyway, because I was already planning on putting sand on top, but I was reading coarse is better than play sand, so I'm going to get coarse. And after I'm done planting the succulents, which I ordered 10 varieties on Amazon, so it's like a package where you get 10 different types. I didn't want to get from my local greenhouse just because of the fact I know they use pesticides, because I've worked there before, and they used pesticides when I worked there, and I don't want pesticides on my plants. These ones people have used before with their pets in like reptile tanks and stuff, so I figured if people had used them for that, that they would be okay to use for this. And of course, until I get the beetles, I might just have where I'll like wash the succulents, I suppose you could say, and just have them in like neutral soil like I'm going to, and just hope that maybe if there is any pesticides in them or on them, that it eventually will just wear off because there's nothing being replenished, hopefully. After the succulents are planted, I got this Challahwood, and this was also from Amazon. I got 5 pieces that were 5 to 6 inches. And they sent a pretty good variety, because you've got some that are really big and some that are really tiny. And I figured that the beetles would enjoy hiding in this and also climbing on it and stuff. And it'll look really neat because it is kind of deserty looking. And then in here, I'll put the link to all this stuff that I've got on Amazon in the description if any of you guys are interested. But the only rigging I had to do to this LED light setup is I just had to use some plastic string, which is this stuff here that you can get at Walmart in the craft aisle. It comes in like a kit with several colors, but I just used this. The only thing about this is you have to have some pliers that you can grip onto it, because if you're trying to tie this with your bare hands, you just can't pull it tight enough because this stuff is really loose when you're tying it in a knot. You're supposed to warm it up first with your hands and stretch it a whole bunch, because this stuff will stretch when it's warm, because it is plastic. So I had to stretch it. I had to put it around 3 of my toes so I could hold it in place, and I tied it with the pliers and my hands. And then I just stretched it out again, slipped it over the bend that I wanted it to hold, and then as it cools down, it firms back up to where it becomes, oh my gosh, becomes stiff again. Well, I'll have to fix that one because I kind of did that. I was asking for it. I was messing with it. Anyway, let me fix that real quick. Okay, so I put it back on. I'm not going to touch it again. Let me get back to being comfortable here. So, I will show you these LED lights. I feel like, if I had to remember, they were like maybe 50 or 60 at the most. They do come with a clamp, which I just put on this old laptop rest thing that you put on your lap. Anyway, not important. So I put it on there. I plugged it in. These are LEDs, by the way. They come with like a little USB plug-in over here. So the cord just unplugs instead of being fixed. This deal here is the remote. So you can see here it's lit up right now, so it's really bright. But of course this is the power button. This one here is a timer. It has a timer for 3 hours, 6 hours, and 12 hours that it will turn off by itself after running for that period of time. This little switch button here lets you choose whether you want red lights, blue lights, or both. And then this button up here lets you choose how bright or how dim you want the lights to be. So I'll show you because it's kind of cool. So I'll turn them on real quick. And I'll let you see what I'm talking about. So like blue lights, red, and both. You can see how much it lights up the tank. And then this here brightens it. And then it starts to dim. And then it starts going back up to bright. So, and then if you hit the power button, it turns one light off at a time, so you can choose if you want them all on or all off, or if you want just one on. It's really cool. So far, it has worked. So I can't wait to get the succulents, and I'm going to put them in here to keep them alive, obviously, and see if the light actually works. Most of the people that used it liked it and said that it worked just fine. But, of course, the only complaints on the Amazon were mainly about the clamp, because it's not sturdy enough, and these metal rods are not, like, strong enough metal to actually hold their shape when you bend them, if it's, like, standing straight up. If it's laying down like this, it's obviously no big deal. I still had to put this here because, as you saw, when this came off, it's extended outwards, so it doesn't hold its shape very well. So that's the only complaint that most people had, including myself. But of course, I had something to fix it. You can obviously use yarn if you want to instead of this plastic tie. That's just what I had on hand to use. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Look forward to, in the future, me getting like the soil and the plants in there and stuff, because they'll be fun. But yeah, so in the future, there will be blue death feigning beetles in here. Hopefully 5 or 6 of them, because I want to have a group and maybe start some future breeding projects, but that won't be for a while. Like, if they end up having babies, then they can have babies, but for a while I just want to have them as pets, and then when I'm ready, then I might breed them. So, but yeah, anyway guys, look forward to the next episode. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day.